In this video, I'm going to be going over the best exercises to best grow your shoulders. And to understand why these exercises are the best, you have to understand why your shoulder does what it does, why certain exercises are better than other shoulder exercises. So shoulder is a ball and socket joint, which out of all the joints in the human body has the most mobility. I'm going to try to draw it. That bone up here. The way your shoulder works is a lever system. So you have triangle in the middle, and then you have what kind of looks like a seesaw, and this is a lever. This is the side representing the effort you have to put in order to move the weight on the other side, i.e. this concrete block. In the center, the large stick, that is the fulcrum. For example, move the stick super far away, put the concrete block back on, hope it stays there, and then let's try to move it. I can put my whole body weight on it and it's not going anywhere. That's because you have very little leverage when the fulcrum is further away. 2 fingers, it lifts up super duper easy. It's the same with a lateral raise. You have your shoulder is the fulcrum, and the effort you have to put in depends on how far your arm is extended. Ideally, you want your arm fully straight and extended, maybe with a slight bend, more effort in, making your shoulder have to work harder. You'd actually want to do the opposite of what this stick is. Showing you this through an example of a lateral raise, your arm would be chicken winged. It would be super close to your shoulder, which would make it really easy to perform the lateral raise, but it would put no effort or work on your delts, which is kind of like the whole purpose. The shoulder joint is a ball and socket joint, which out of all joints in the body has the most mobility. And because of that, your shoulder has 3 main heads, the front, side, and rear. The front delt raises your arm away from your midline like this. Your side delt does the same to the side, and your rear delt does the same backwards. So if you want to think about it, your front delt can help you grab something off the top shelf, protein powder off the top shelf. Your side delt is what you do to wave. Look at me! I'm like 30 feet away. And your rear delt is what can help you reach back to grab anything behind you, or if you are putting on a jacket or coat, then look at this. Rear delt action, pulling your arm backwards to put in the last sleeve. Look at that. This thing looks sick, doesn't it? Got some shoulder pads, elbow pads. I'm not trying to die. But motorcycling's too fun to not do, you know? To get to the point, to hit your front delt, basically anything overhead pressing and any front raise is gonna hit your front delt. You can do a front raise with a cable.
Delt, but a lot of people don't have access to a machine like that, and this is a fun.
You could have dumbbells.
To the front delt, a huge range of motion there. And also,
and on an overhead press, you can use a machine.
And let's go here, like that. What are you doing? Sure, it looks good, you have more weight, but I'd rather do 10 great reps than 15 mediocre reps.
I guess you could probably use cables as well if you had that kind of machine around in your gym. You could use a barbell as well, but it doesn't allow you to get as much of a stretch at the bottom, so it's less ideal.
Push up, through, extend, squeeze, control it down. Don't just drop it down, control it down.
For your side delt, do anything that raises your arm to your side. There are machines for it, you can do it with cables.
And then we're up, out, and back.
beautiful control, Jeff. That's awesome.
As I've demonstrated why dumbbell lateral raises are less optimal than a cable or a machine variation. On most exercises on the eccentric, at the bottom of the motion, be able to feel a stretch. However, with dumbbells, there's no stretch here. There's no tension at all. This is actually a relaxed position. You start to feel an engagement about here. This is like peak tension. This is where the most force is being put on your muscle, on your shoulder. You go higher, you start to lose that tension. And if you get to the very top, this is like the very bottom. There's no tension at all, where you don't feel much of anything. And then you come down, control, slow, slow, slower. And then if you want to keep constant tension, you only stop about here, because if you go here, you lose all tension. But that's why cables are better. Has an even resistance curve, which both the machine and the cables have, to the constant tension, and I think they're cooler. They're just better, and so are machines, but I don't have a lateral raise machine in my basement. If I did, that would be awesome. The reason dumbbells suck is because most of the tension is here, whereas on a cable, if I were to have a cable in my right hand and I would be doing a lateral raise, the same amount of weight and resistance on my side delt would be the exact same from here all the way up to here. You'd be putting more work into your muscle throughout that full range of motion rather than just right here. And you can of course do it with dumbbells.
Thumbs up it as little as possible on the way
Yeah?
up.
Okay.
But
Right rows. 1. Control it down.
I guess you can do it with bands as well, but those are less ideal because bands are the hardest at the very top, the very most stretched of the band. But then as you get to the bottom where you should be stretching your side delt, you lose all tension. So it's really not ideal, but if you have no other options, then sure, you can use bands. You can do face pulls.
You don't have to go all the way to lockout. Stop a little bit shy of the lockout, keep the tension on the delts, and then come right back up.
As well as any other machine that has you fly backwards.
a good thing to really crunch at the top. It won't cost you a ton of reps because it's easy there, but you'll connect to that rear.
Ready to come up? Lean back a bit. Control on the way down.
The best shoulder exercises are the one that you enjoy because you'll do them, the ones that don't hurt your shoulders, and the ones that have a better resistance curve. If you learned something from this video, give it a nice thumbs up and subscribe.